When discussing Japanese samurai culture, the term koku often comes up in relation to rice. In this video, we will explore the meaning of koku. To begin this video, let's introduce three terms related to koku. First, koku is a unit of volume in Japan. One koku is about 180 liters, which is roughly the capacity of a full bathtub. The symbol for koku is also used to represent stone or rock in the written language. It originated from the Chinese culture area and was introduced to Japan as early as the 7th century. The unit of koku has evolved differently in Japan and China. In modern China, one unit of koku, which is pronounced shi, refers to 103 liters. Second, the Kokudaka served as an economic tool similar to GDP. Japan was primarily an agricultural country until the 19th century, with rice being the main staple resource. Initially, Kokudaka referred to the quantity of rice harvested. However, as time passed, people started estimating productivity by taking into account not only rice but also other products that could be converted into the value of rice. This measurement of productivity, resembling GDP, was termed the Kokudaka. Third, the rice-based taxation system, known as Kokudaka taxation, played a crucial role. After the introduction of the Kokudaka, people paid their taxes with rice, samurai wages were paid in rice, and rice functioned as a form of currency. This alternative taxation system became known as the Kokudaka taxation. Rice, as the lifeblood of the economy, flowed throughout Japan and supported its development. Let's now explore these installations and developments in more detail. At a time when the Dutch Republic was on the brink of gaining independence from the Spanish Empire, Toyotomi Hideyoshi initiated a nationwide land survey and census known as the Taiko Kenchi. As part of this survey, the Kokudaka and its taxation was implemented. Toyotomi Hideyoshi, who was known by the nickname Monkey, was the most successful man in Japanese history. Despite humble origins as a peasant, he followed in the footsteps of Oda Nobunaga and ultimately unified Japan. Known for his astute management of human resources and economic acumen, Hideyoshi implemented reforms that restructured Japan. Throughout his series of ascensions to power, Hideyoshi adopted various crests. Among these, the Paulownia crest stands out as one of the most renowned. This crest symbolizes the representative of the government, designated by the emperor, and has been used by influential figures. In light of this symbolism, the contemporary Japanese government continues to employ this crest as a significant emblem. Prior to that time, Japan was embroiled in continuous warfare. Taxes were collected in various ways across different regions, often in local currency or goods, including rice. When Hideyoshi implemented nationwide tax collection, there was a shortage of cash available for all Japanese to pay their taxes, and much counterfeit money was circulating. It would be more efficient if tax collection were done in monetary terms. But, given this context, utilizing rice as currency was a practical choice, considering its widespread availability and nationally uniform nature. As part of his efforts to unify Japan, the first step was to standardize a measuring cup for brown rice to calculate tax revenue. This marked the beginning of the standardization of units of volume. There are several volume units associated with koku. The main unit of koku, which is about 180 liters, represents the quantity of rice necessary to feed one person for a year. In contrast, the unit go, which is about 180 milliliters, represents a single meal of rice. 10 gos are equivalent to 1 sho, which is approximately the size of a typical sake bottle. 10 shas are equivalent to 1 to. Oils are often sold in this size. 4 tos are equivalent to 1 hyo, designed in a portable form. 2.5 hyos are equivalent to 1 koku, thus 10 tos are equivalent to 1 koku. This koku was designed to be 1,000 meals, in other words, it is equivalent to 3 meals per day for 354 days in the lunar calendar year. Although, strictly speaking, people ate a lot more back then. This well-known photograph shows female stevedores called chomachi carrying what appears to be 5 hyos of rice on their backs, equivalent to 2 kokus. However, it was later revealed that the photo was staged for tourism and only 3 hyos contained rice. Still, the weight would amount to approximately 180 kilograms or 400 pounds. Simultaneously, Hideyoshi also directed his attention towards measuring surface areas for more precise calculations of crop yields. He introduced a system for organizing units of surface areas. This is called tatami mat, which was not yet common at that time. Each tatami has a fixed shape and is arranged in tiles on the floor of a Japanese room. While there were various existing standards, Hideyoshi established the size of a tatami mat to be 1820 cm wide by 910 cm long, which became the adopted standard for surface area measurement. 2 tatami mats are equivalent to 1 bu. 30 bus are equivalent to 1 sei, and almost 1 ar, thus equal to 100 square meters. 10 ses are equivalent to 1 tan, and almost an Olympic-sized swimming pool. And 10 tans are equivalent to 1 cho. This 1 cho is almost 1 hectare. These concepts of surface area measurement were originally derived from the Chinese culture area. This is an illustration of the actual survey tools that were used. The survey researchers utilized a variety of tools made from materials such as metal, bamboo, wood, and rope for measuring surface areas. For instance, this is a compass, and those are right-angle rulers. These tools were used in this manner. To measure the surface area of a field, the researchers followed a specific procedure. First, they pinned stakes in the 4 corners of a rice field and encircled the area with a rope. Second, they divided each side into 2 equal parts. Third, they connected 2 facing dividing points with a straight line. This would be the width of the cropland. Last, they connected the remaining dividing points to the width line that they just finished drawing, rather than to each other. These new lines were perpendicular to the width. Added together, these lines would be the length of the cropland. By employing this method, the researchers were able to derive the width and length measurements from the irregular quadrangular shape of the cropland, ultimately calculating its surface area. Once the surface area is known, its yield could be measured. Hideyoshi categorized croplands based on their brown rice yield in order to assess productivity. It was believed that 1 tan of cropland could yield around 1 koku of rice per year. Over time, even agricultural and marine products were converted into their equivalent rice value and counted as the category of lowest yield croplands. Speaking of the rice value, the candlestick chart, which is now widely used in stock trading, was created to estimate this rice market price. Once the yield is known, its taxes could be assessed. Hideyoshi instructed survey officers to negotiate tax rates with the peasants. In cases where negotiations proved difficult, 2/3 of the peasants' yield was collected as tax. For example, if a peasant owned 1.5 kokus of assessed cropland, the tax imposed would still be 1 koku, regardless of whether the harvest was good or bad. However, historical records indicate that due to the fear of additional taxation, the peasants staged numerous uprisings against the land survey. Consequently, tax rates during the Sengoku period were largely determined by each governor's discretion rather than strictly following Hideyoshi's initial instructions. Once the tax amount is known, it could be summed up nationwide. Hideyoshi created a comprehensive document listing croplands, including their locations, yield classifications, surface areas, and the responsible peasants accountable for paying taxes. In some areas, peasants had a tradition of paying multiple taxes to intermediaries such as monks and aristocrats, in addition to samurai. This tradition was reformed, and the peasants became obligated to pay taxes to their designated samurai guardian. Importantly, this document officially transferred ownership of the croplands from the intermediaries to the peasants, ending the Japanese manorial system that had previously favored the monks and aristocrats. Having explained the value of rice so far, how much was a koku actually worth? During that time, 1 koku of rice was generally exchanged for 1 ryo, a gold coin. With this in mind, let's consider a hypothetical value of approximately $700 for 1 koku of rice, taking into account 2 factors. First, the kosha gold coin, which was used during the Sengoku period and weighed 15 grams, would be worth around $686 based on the average price of gold from 2010 to 2020. Second, currently in Japan, 1 koku of brown rice weighing 150 kilograms is traded for about $710. For example, during the Edo period, samurais to be recognized as daimyo, which was a class of powerful warlords, needed at least 10,000 kokus annually. If a samurai owned this level of income, their Kokudaka, the size of the economy would be $7 million annually. For example, the daimyo of Owari province, Oda Nobunaga, who was Hideyoshi's superior, held a Kokudaka of 570,000 kokus. This suggests that the size of the economy in Owari province would be $400 million. If he could allocate 10% of this income for personal use, that would amount to $40 million annually. However, a historian's estimation based on a samurai's account book from the later Edo period suggests that during that time, 1 koku would be equivalent to approximately $1,800 today. And 1 ryo would be around $2,000. It is important to note that the value of rice fluctuates over time and in different regions.
Help motivate us to make more videos by liking and subscribing. Thank you for watching!